As the sun dipped below the rooftops of our small English town, I eagerly donned my green supermarket apron, ready for my first day as a checkout girl. The buzz of anticipation echoed in the air as I punched in my employee code and smiled nervously at the customers filing into the store. Little did I know this day marked the beginning of a nightmare that would haunt my every waking moment. The supermarket was a hub of activity, with beeping scanners and rustling grocery bags providing a symphony of mundane sounds. Amidst the routine, a face in the checkout line caught my eye. A middle-aged man with cold, piercing eyes that seemed to linger too long on my face. "New around here, love?" he inquired, his voice oily and insincere. I nodded, offering a polite but guarded smile. Little did I know this would be the first of many encounters with the man who would become my tormentor. Days turned into weeks, and the man's visits became unnervingly frequent. He always chose my checkout lane, asking prying questions about my life outside the supermarket walls. It started as a minor annoyance, but soon escalated into a daily ordeal that left me dreading each shift. His inquiries turned invasive, probing into the most intimate details of my life. My discomfort grew as he began waiting for me outside after work, lurking in the shadows like a malevolent specter. Fear gnawed at my stomach as I quickened my pace, his footsteps echoing ominously behind me. One chilly evening, as I walked the familiar path home, a shiver ran down my spine. The streetlights flickered overhead, casting eerie shadows on the cobblestone streets. My breath quickened when I realized the stalker was following me once again. Panic set in, and I sprinted through the deserted alleys, my heart pounding in my ears. The echo of his footsteps reverberated, growing louder with every turn. I stumbled into the cold embrace of my father's arms, tears streaming down my face as I recounted the nightmare that had become my reality. Determination etched across his face, my father accompanied me to the supermarket the next day. We reported the stalker to the manager, who promised to take action. The police were alerted and security measures were heightened. The once familiar supermarket now felt like a fortress, a thin barrier between me and the relentless pursuer. But the nightmare wasn't over. One stormy night, as I closed up shop, the power flickered. Ominously, the familiar hum of the store's fluorescent lights died, plunging the supermarket into darkness. Panic set in as I fumbled for my phone, casting a feeble glow in the inky blackness. And there he was, the stalker, his malevolent silhouette revealed in the dim light of my phone. A guttural growl escaped his lips as he lunged towards me. Fear paralyzed me for a moment, but survival instincts kicked in, and I sprinted through the aisles, his malicious laughter echoing through the darkened store. As I burst into the night, rain pelting my face, I stumbled into the arms of police officers who had responded to the emergency call. The stalker was apprehended, his eyes wild with a madness that sent shivers down my spine. In the aftermath, the authorities revealed the true extent of his obsession. He had been collecting personal details, photographs, and even items from my checkout lane. The realization that my mundane routine had become a twisted obsession chilled me to the bone. As I reflect on that harrowing chapter of my life, I implore you, dear listener, if something feels off, don't dismiss it as paranoia. Speak out, confide in someone you trust, and take action. The line between safety and danger is often thinner than we realize, and the courage to confront the darkness may be the key to survival. It all began innocently enough. My fascination with psychology led me to strike up conversations with interesting strangers during my smoke breaks. One such encounter occurred in a quaint bookstore nestled between the towering skyscrapers of the city. Gemma, a supermarket employee with an otherworldly allure, became a regular companion during my visits. Her wide eyes sparkled with an odd mix of mischief and something darker, hidden beneath the surface. We bonded over shared interests in psychology, crime novels, and the enigmatic dance of the human mind. As the weeks passed, Gemma revealed her peculiar perspectives on criminology, weaving tales of unsolved mysteries and criminal profiling. I was captivated by her narrative prowess, oblivious to the unsettling undercurrents that lurked beneath her charming facade. One fateful evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, Gemma invited me to join her on a quest for rare crime novels at a dusty, dimly lit bookstore on the outskirts of town. Intrigued and drawn to the enigma that surrounded her, I agreed, unknowingly stepping into the shadowy realms of her hidden world. The bookstore, a labyrinth of forgotten tales and ancient secrets, seemed frozen in time. The air was thick with the scent of aging paper and ink, and the flickering lights cast long, eerie shadows across the shelves. Gemma's eyes gleamed with an unsettling intensity as she navigated the narrow aisles, her fingers caressing the spines of the forgotten volumes. As we delved deeper into the obscure sections, Gemma revealed a hidden chamber concealed behind a faded curtain. It was a secret sanctuary, a place untouched by time, where forbidden knowledge lay dormant. In the center, an ancient tome bound in decaying leather beckoned us closer. Gemma's demeanor shifted, her eyes reflecting the malevolence hidden within. With a ceremonious air, she opened the book, revealing pages inscribed with forbidden rituals and dark incantations. My initial fascination morphed into a gnawing sense of dread as the words whispered from the pages, casting a spell that bound us to an unholy pact. Unbeknownst to me, Gemma and her accomplice had committed a heinous crime, their deeds concealed within the very pages of the sinister book. The realization struck like a bolt of lightning, electrifying my senses with horror. I had unwittingly danced with the devil, engaging in casual conversations about criminology with a murderer. As the truth unfolded, Gemma's eyes bore into mine, a chilling smile playing on her lips. The bookstore, once a refuge for forgotten stories, transformed into a chamber of malevolence. With a sense of impending doom, I stumbled out, leaving the darkness behind. In the wake of that nightmarish revelation, paranoia consumed me. Every shadow seemed to conceal a lurking threat. Every stranger held the potential for malevolence. The bookstore's whispers echoed in my mind, a haunting reminder of the unholy alliance forged in the depths of that forbidden chamber. Advice to you, dear listener: beware the seemingly benign connections you forge, for the line between fascination and horror is thin. The most captivating individuals may harbor the darkest secrets. Trust your instincts and be vigilant, for the enigma that beckons may lead you into the abyss. In the realm of the unknown, tread carefully, lest you become entangled in a web of darkness from which there is no escape. The sterile, fluorescent lights hummed overhead as I maneuvered my shopping cart through the aisles of the local grocery store. My routine trip for essentials had become a mundane part of life until an unsettling feeling prickled at the back of my neck. Glancing around, I noticed a man, nondescript in appearance, seemingly absorbed in examining cereal boxes. Shrugging off the unease, I continued shopping with my mother, exchanging casual conversation about our day. Yet, as we moved from aisle to aisle, the man was a constant presence, always a few steps behind, his gaze never leaving us. My heart quickened and I dismissed the discomfort as paranoia, chiding myself for imagining danger in the everyday. But his proximity grew unnerving, his pace mimicking ours with an unsettling precision. I wondered if it was mere coincidence or something far more sinister. The tension escalated when, at each turn, he'd reach for random items, inspect them intently, only to place them back on the shelf without making a purchase. His eyes, devoid of emotion, followed us with an unsettling intensity. I hesitated to confront him, fearing an escalation of the already palpable discomfort. As we approached the checkout, I stole a glance behind. The man lingered, his cart filled with untouched groceries, a silent observer to our every move. My mother shared my unease, and we hurriedly paid, clutching our bags tightly as we exited the store. The cool breeze outside offered little comfort as we walked to our car. The parking lot seemed emptier than usual, and the flickering street lamp cast long shadows that danced eerily on the asphalt. Panic set in when we realized the man was there too, his figure barely visible in the dim light. Dread clawed at us as we quickened our pace, the soft thuds of his footsteps echoing behind. Fear propelled us to break into a run, our breaths quickening with each desperate step. The man matched our pace effortlessly, the distance between us unchanged. Our hearts pounded in our chests as we fumbled for the car keys, the metallic jingle echoing our anxiety. With the doors locked, we peeled out of the parking lot, the man's face illuminated by the dim glow of the store's entrance fading in the rearview mirror. But the nightmare had just begun. As we navigated the unfamiliar streets, paranoia clung to us like a shadow. He followed relentlessly, his car a persistent shadow in the darkness. Fear and desperation gripped us as we took erratic turns, attempting to shake off our pursuer, only to find him right behind, unyielding. The distant city lights blurred into a disorienting kaleidoscope as we hurtled through the night. Panic set in, our only solace the distant wail of sirens that seemed too far away to be of any help. The man's relentless pursuit fueled our terror, his intentions unknown but undoubtedly sinister. As we careened through a desolate stretch of road, the gas gauge blinked ominously. The realization hit use like a goot punch. The escape was slipping through our fingers. The car sputtered to a stop, our surroundings swallowed by an oppressive silence. The man pulled up beside us, his expression unreadable through the darkened windows. But instead of approaching, he simply sat there, an eerie stillness enveloping the night. With a surge of adrenaline, I grabbed my phone, dialing the emergency number, praying for salvation. As the dispatcher assured us help was on the way, the man's car peeled away into the night, disappearing like a phantom into the darkness. The distant wail of sirens grew closer, providing a semblance of safety. In the aftermath of that chilling pursuit, the advice we offer is simple but crucial. If something feels wrong, it probably is. Be aware of your surroundings and don't hesitate to seek help. The line between an ordinary day and a nightmarish encounter can be thin, and it's essential to prioritize your safety above all else.